Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the third episode of the Poorly Planned
Podcast.
It's my intro.
Hello,
Shut
guys.
the hell up. My name is Benedict. You probably know me better as BHL Hudson, and I'm here once again with the one, the only, the knuckle cracking who should stop doing that because we're on a sensitive microphone, Frederick.
Hello, guys. Great to be
Okay,
back.
let's
Great
move
being
on.
back.
So, yeah, I mean, Frederick, now let's do this real nonchalant and smoothly.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm
Just
ready.
a little bit ruined by me saying that. How was your week, Frederick? What did you do?
Well, BHL, I'm happy you ask.
I don't care. Ask me how my week was.
Okay, no, because I need to explain now. Because I watched.
Okay, before we do this, I need to explain.
Okay.
I was thinking to do this. I was thinking I wanted to do like a part of the show, right? Where, because I watch a lot of movies and TV and that kind of stuff. Well, not a lot, but you know.
Too many.
One would say. And I was like, we should do a thing on the show. We were talking about that. And I realized, like 1 second after thinking that, the Weekly Planet literally has a segment, What We Read and What We Gonna Read, where they do that exact thing. And we're already enough of a ripoff of the Weekly Planet. So
you are.
you bring something new to the table.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was thinking the sneaky way to do it is A, put it at the front of the show instead of at the end.
Oh.
So
Just flip it on its head.
And two, make it not so like it's a segment or anything, but so it's real smooth. Like I ask you how your week was, and you talk about what you watched.
What I watched.
and then you ask me what I watched.
Okay.
And then it's like it's real smooth. It's just like playful banter. It's not like we're ripping anyone off.
Okay, yeah, I like it.
So
So,
if you don't want to hear any of this, there are time codes down below, so you can skip around. We have.
but we all know you want to hear about my
we're
week.
we're not gonna spend a lot of time on Frederick's week. We might talk about the one Game of Thrones episode we watched or something. But then, so if you want to skip to the news, there's the news, and if you want to skip to the topic this week, which is DCEU movies in honor of Wonder Woman, you can do that, and it's linked down below. So, what did you watch this week? I mean, how was your week?
You idiot!
How was your week?
My week was great. The first day, Monday, I was sick, and I spent.
Okay, when I asked how
No,
was
no,
your
no,
week,
no,
I didn't mean
no,
actually
no.
how was your week as like a week. I meant what did you watch
I know.
entertainment-wise?
That's why I'm saying.
Oh, you're
I was
setting the
sick.
scene.
Exactly.
Okay,
I was-
fine.
You better be sorry.
This podcast is just two idiots yelling over each other.
All right, so I was in bed. I watched all three, the original three Pirates of the Caribbean movies. Once again, amazing.
After we just watched the fifth one, how did you get through that?
Because it's amazing. I don't
Okay,
know how
look-
you don't love it.
look,
and
we-
then I also watched 3 episodes of Game of Thrones.
I've done my review of Pirates 5. You know that I thought it was okay. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It was just meh. You, of course, really liked it.
Yeah.
'Cause
Well, it's
you're-
the worst of the 5.
It's worse than 4.
It's worse than 4.
That's
It's
okay. You know what? Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
I
That's
know.
fine. I like having you on this podcast because when I have like a kind of relatively controversial opinion about a movie, like
I'll make you look good.
like Pirates 5.
Catwoman was a good movie,
And then,
everyone.
I can say that it's like, yeah, it's pretty not good, and a lot of people actually didn't like me saying that. And then you can say, oh, it was great, and then people can latch onto you.
Then
So-
they'll join my YouTube channel instead of yours.
Yeah, probably.
This guy clearly knows what he's talking about.
Anyway, how did that? Ask me.
Moving on, guys. How was your week?
Well, my week was pretty good actually because we've well, it's been 2 weeks actually because we've finished exams now, right? Pretty much. So in
Yes.
school, our exams are almost pretty much done, and so the month of June we still have school, but it's going to be a little bit more relaxed because we don't have as many tests and that kind of thing. So.
Mhm.
I've actually had a lot of time to watch a lot of different movies, and in the past 2 weeks, at least the ones I can remember, I watched. And you know what? I'm gonna start a new segment. I said I wasn't gonna start a new segment.
I thought there was no segments in this.
Okay, it's not a segment, but I'm gonna do a thing. It's like 30-second movie reviews because we can't go over 10 movies in depth. So I'm gonna go like 30 seconds on each one. So
Okay.
I watched The World's End.
Yes.
Amazing. I loved it so much. I've been recommending this to you for a while.
Yes, you have.
The Cornetto trilogy
Simon Pegg.
is incredible. It's hilarious, and Scott Pilgrim's great. Edgar Wright is amazing. Baby Driver. Can't wait. Coming out June 20th.
He's obsessed. Continue.
And The World's End, it's so much fun. It's so funny. It's so well like written and directed. It's not like other comedies where it's just like improvised. It's just
Mhm.
it actually has like yeah, it's amazing. You really should watch it. And
Nice
don't watch the
32
trailer.
seconds.
He's a bitch. Don't watch the trailer because the trailer kind of ruins like the best parts.
Okay.
The Drive, I watched Drive with
Drive is
with
amazing.
the goose. It's
the goose.
yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Brian gets his wrist cuts though.
That is
really
a shame.
sad.
But Nemo's dad cuts Brian's wrist. It's pretty great. But I watched it because I've heard it's great and it's on Netflix, and also I heard Baby Driver is kind of like Drive. And from what I've seen in the trailer, Baby Driver looks
a similar name.
Well, it looks like it's pretty much Drive but fun, you know, like fun Drive with music as well. Because Drive is pretty dark. I watched Mean Girls.
Amazing.
Look, it's good.
You watched Mean Girls too?
No,
I don't want to either.
Look, it's good, but I don't think it's really for me. You know, like it's.
Wait,
more,
was it the first time you watched it?
Yeah.
What?
It's
What?
like I know I need to catch up. But so I was like, yeah, this is fun, and I would have liked it more when I was younger, I think. But it's just kind of it's very predictable, you know.
You're very Georgina.
And well, you know the best part of that movie, the principal guy.
I like that.
He's awesome. I love that guy. Then Dredd. We'll talk a little. Actually, I don't think we'll talk a lot about it now because we'll talk about it more later. But
Okay.
Dredd is one of my favorite superhero movies to
It's
date.
great.
It's incredible. Didn't even try.
What a transition.
The next one, The Incredibles. I'm just that wired into this game at this point. The Incredibles, of course, it's amazing. Well, you know, let's not get into it now. Let's not get into your hissy fit that you had about us doing an episode of The Incredibles. I wanted to do an episode on The Incredibles.
Well, okay. Let me set
Freddie
the scene.
vetoed it.
No, because The Incredible is it 2018 or 2019 that it's coming
18.
out? 18. Like, it's just out of the blue. You have to wait till there's a trailer or something.
Okay,
it's because he
fine.
watched it this week. And he's like,
So I wanted
you know
to-
what? It's news, guys.
It's not news. Fine. Incredibles is still one of my favorite movies ever. Hellboy, pretty good. I don't say it's incredible, but the visual effects and the
Incredible.
I'm not trying. The visual effects and like the costume design is, I think, maybe the best I've ever seen. Not the visual effects, but the costume design. Some of the best I've ever seen in a superhero movie. Like
Okay.
the stuff Ron Perlman wears to be Hellboy is amazing. He also, this is a cool thing, but I love it when celebrities like they dress up as their characters and go visit children in hospitals. Like I know it's
Johnny Depp does that.
Okay, let's not get. But it takes him like 4 hours. Ron Perlman, who's like 60 at this point, to get into the Hellboy outfit, and like he has to lumber around. And it sucks to wear apparently, and he got in all of that just to visit this kid in the hospital. It's
great.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
Look at the pictures. I watched Indiana Jones 1 and 3. It's also two of my favorite movies of all time. So good. The Floor's on Fire.
The floor's on fire.
Okay, you don't. I do a pretty decent Sean Connery. Okay, give me a second to think of something. Our situation is not improved. it's pretty good. And then
Mr. Bond.
and then on the recommendation of a friend of ours, I watched What to Expect When You're Expecting, which is a 2012 comedy about pregnancy.
You don't sound overly hyped. A 2012 comedy.
Look, it's
It's interesting.
again, it's not for me. It was yeah.
But officially, it's pretty good. He says.
Look, I'm not gonna tell that friend that like her favorite movie's garbage. It's not garbage.
Oh, he said it's garbage.
It's not garbage. It's fine. All right. It had some funny moments. I liked Elizabeth Banks, I guess. Now, before we get into the news, I wanted to say
Our news isn't new.
I have my note here. Our news isn't new. If you're coming to this podcast to get the breaking stories,
Don't be here.
you're in the wrong place. All right. We talk about the news that like happened over the past 2 weeks to give our thoughts on it. It's not
Exactly.
like to break a story, right? So, because some of
We're
the stuff
not
happened.
DeFranco.
Some of this stuff happened 2 weeks ago, like Tom Hardy being cast as Venom. That's old stuff, but it's mainly just to get our thoughts on it. So let's get into the news. That being said, first of all, the set pictures of Mera from Aquaman. Amber Heard as Mera. There was a picture for her for Justice League, which looked kind of.
Wait, is she in
good.
Justice League?
Yeah, and it looked pretty good. Like it looked pretty good, but this looks. I think this looks like super comic. It looks really good.
Okay.
For the record, there's a lot of news here, but some of this
We just skim over.
we won't have a lot to say about.
Yeah. Okay.
Like the Universal Dark Universe, I don't think we're gonna have a lot to say about it. But
I don't know. What that
yeah.
is.
So yeah, we'll have to explain it. So Mera looks pretty good. Roger Moore passing away. That's really sad.
He died an old
He
age.
was
So
89, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
89.
that's a pretty good age. But yeah, I mean, look, I've only seen all the Craig movies and the Goldfinger with
and Pierce. Have you not seen any Pierce?
No, I haven't seen anything except for Goldfinger and the Daniel Craig. Although I'm thinking about doing a best and worst of James Bond, so I'm gonna.
So you need to. I
Yeah,
have
I need
them all
to-
on DVD.
Really?
Yeah.
Honestly, this is the first time I'm hearing. Okay, I'll come over then.
Yes.
But so you a fan of the Roger Moore Bond movies?
Yeah, I like him.
From
He's-
what I
he's
from
good
what I
in
know,
Octopussy.
from what I know, those are like the really silly ones. But I think honestly, I
Yeah.
think I'll enjoy those quite a lot because I enjoy a good Mission
Yeah.
Impossible
There's
2-esque movie.
There's also I don't remember in which one this is, but there's like where he skis away from like 20 snow snipers. And just like
Yeah,
just
that sounds
makeshift
great.
skis, and then he lands in a boat and
That's exactly. That
does
sounds
what
like the kind
James
of like
Bond does best.
the campy stuff that I really enjoy watching. So yeah, that sucks. Moving on though from that sad news, we transition into Tom
You don't
Hardy.
sound very sad about moving on from that sad news.
We go to Tom Hardy as being cast as Venom in the upcoming 2018 Venom movie, which is
There's a Venom movie.
which is
coming
not connected to the Spider-Man universe.
What?
Apparently, it's stupid. Yeah, but so
So it's just like a standalone Venom movie.
yeah, so they're building Sony because Sony had to not give it back, but like share Spider-Man with Marvel now.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're trying to start their own Spider-Man cinematic universe without Spider-Man.
So Spider-Man's not even a thing in Venom or what?
Apparently not. Maybe they'll change it because people are like really weirded out about that, but apparently not. So
so bad.
yeah, but then
Venom
again,
is made from Spider-Man.
Tom,
Isn't he?
yeah, his origin is tied directly to Spider-Man. But Tom Hardy being cast as Venom,
I like that.
that's very promising actually. So he's already been Bane, which
Amazing.
very good, yeah. And he was gonna be Rick Flag in Suicide Squad. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, I almost just knocked over something. He was gonna be Rick Flag in Suicide Squad.
But then he turned it down for was it Revenant?
Yeah, well, he didn't turn it down, but he had to drop out because they had to shoot in the forest for like 20 months or
I didn't
something.
want to get ticks.
Yeah. So, and now Venom. Yeah, I mean, if you want someone who's like intimidating and like I would be I'm weirdly terrified of Tom Hardy. Like I watch interviews with him and I'm like, he seems nice, but I would not be able to interview
Yeah.
him because I feel like he could break my spine at any second. You know, I'm sure he's a lovely man, but
He's got that stare.
yeah, and those like massive biceps.
Yeah. Wait, have you seen Taboo?
No, but I want to.
Ah, he's freaking terrifying in that.
Yeah, like yeah, you know who he's more terrifying than Topher Grace, who played Venom in Spider-Man 3. This little shrimp of a man
Yeah. I
compared to
remember-
Tom Hardy. I'm sure he's a nice man as well. I'm sure
Probably
everyone
not.
is a nice man, but
Well,
or woman.
do you just
Thank
assume
you.
their gender? I'm
But-
here all week, guys.
But yeah, that's really good. Also, a director was announced, which I'm going to very smoothly look up right now. You probably can't hear the keystrokes happening.
Venom comic.
Why Venom isn't? They announced the director Ruben Fleischer.
He did Zombieland.
Zombieland, yeah. You know, looking at this picture right now, he looks kind of like Emmanuel Macron, the French president.
I'm
Doesn't
going
he?
to say a young Roger Moore. Since
Too
we're on
soon. Too soon. But yeah, he did Zombieland. He did 30 Minutes or Less. Both of those are apparently very good. And he did Gangster Squad, which is apparently terrible. Oh no, he only produced Gangster Squad.
Oh,
He's directed.
masturbation.
What? Okay, he produced a short film called. Okay, let's move on from that. But yeah, Zombieland.
What's Jekyll? What's that about?
Bunch of TV stuff. Yeah, look, pretty good as long as it's more Zombieland than it is
Masturbation.
than it is Gangster Squad. But you love Zombieland. I haven't seen it.
Zombieland's pretty good.
That's
yeah.
another thing that's like on my list of Netflix things to watch now. So yeah, great choice. Not really sure about the movie though.
Moving on to something.
Oh yeah, this. At first I thought this was not a joke, but like,
hoax.
well yeah, because it seemed really weird when I just saw like on Twitter Zack Snyder drops out of Justice League. But so apparently what happened is, well, you probably already know it if you're listening to this, but back in like March or something, Zack Snyder's daughter committed suicide, and so because of that, so he kind of left the movie for a while, and then Warner Brothers, he was gonna come back, and then he was like,
Spend some more time.
yeah,
with
he
the
wants to
family.
spend more time with his family. So then Warner Brothers was like, oh, we can push back Justice League and you can come back to direct when you're ready. And he said, no, it's fine. I want to keep it on the release date. But so he talked to Joss Whedon, who did
The
the
most
Avengers.
nervous man alive.
Well,
Oh God.
it's probably not a.
It's not good.
I mean, the whole situation sucks. Like let's just say, the movies aside, this is just
It's really sad.
a shitty situation for anyone to be in. So, condolences to Zack Snyder and his family, because and also because he yeah, it's just awful, and I don't really, talking about like if Joss Whedon is gonna do a good job, or if because he did
Yeah.
Avengers, but Avengers 2, it's kind of like a little bit considering the reason, like if Zack Snyder
Yeah.
just dropped out because
Yeah,
like,
then we could talk.
some
yeah,
kind
but,
of like directing duty he had to do,
mhm.
then we'd be like, oh, okay, let's talk about Joss Whedon, but because it's kind of this situation, it seems kind of, I don't know, like not disrespectful, but like
Yeah, I know what
it
you
doesn't
mean.
seem right to
Yeah,
be talking
exactly.
about how the movie's gonna be, even though like I have a video coming out about Justice League, but I addressed
Oh,
that
so
there.
you're just going back.
I'm fine, all right. But so, just that sucks. And I hope he gets back on track and gets everything together. And yeah, there's really no easy way to transition from that into like some more just lighthearted movie news. So,
However, Tom
but we'll
Holland-
try. Tom Holland. Okay, Tom Holland has been cast as a young Nathan Drake. Now, as I discovered 5 minutes before we started recording,
I haven't
apparently,
played Uncharted.
which is weird because you're like the video game guy.
I am the
but
video game guy.
I've played a little bit of Uncharted with my cousin. For the record, pretty much any video game
You've ever played is with your cousin.
is with my cousin. If it's not Mario Kart or Super Mario or something like that, or Smash Brothers. I was gonna say Smash Mouth.
And Smash Bros.
Then-
Oh, he's played Smash Bros.
Then it's like with my cousin or at a friend's house. But yeah,
We've
I
played
mean
some
they've
Counter-Strike.
it's pretty good. But they've been talking about doing a Uncharted movie for like years now, and finally it's actually happening next year, and so it's gonna
I
be.
mean, I feel like Tom Holland can play the part.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to cast Nathan Drake because like people were saying Mark Wahlberg for a while. I don't really
What? No.
see that.
Marky move.
I'm Nathan Drake. Whoa.
Go back to Transformers.
But yeah, and people were saying Nathan Fillion, which I think he's a little too old now. But so
It's also weird with the same name.
that's
the
why
problem.
that's why they
the
chose
problem.
him. But so Tom Holland, yeah, it's a good show. I see from what I've played, and I haven't played like the story or anything that much. Nathan Drake, he seems pretty much like the video game Indiana Jones equivalent, and so
Okay.
if this can be like, because we're getting Indiana Jones 5 in 2019 with Harrison Ford.
That's gonna be a train wreck.
I'm nervous about. I want it to be good
Is
because
Shia in it?
I don't think so, because I just
Thank
watched 1 and 3 and those are like so incredible. So I want it to be good. But if this Uncharted movie can be kind of like a spiritual sequel to Indiana Jones, like with a younger, new adventurer, but it doesn't have to like deal with all the lore and that kind of stuff, because not lore, but like continuity, and by that I mean having old Harrison Ford running around
Yeah.
with a whip, then
Mhm.
that'd be great. But however, I don't think there's ever been a video game movie ever that's been good. 'Cause last year
What about Warcraft? Was that
Warcraft was supposed to be good, and it wasn't really apparent. From what I've heard, I haven't actually saved on the TV box. So
good? On the box.
yeah, so I'm gonna.
What about Assassin's Creed?
apparently garbage? I was actually kind of looking forward to it because I saw
Me
the
too.
trailer and I was like,
I've played some of the Assassin's
yeah,
Creed
I've
games.
played. It's pretty
They're real-
fun. And how could they mess this up? They have the Justin Kurzel who
And they have
directed Macbeth.
And they have a
Fassbender.
great-
They have.
Fußbünder.
Is this what you do for this show? You just add O's to people's names. But
Add use.
oh, sorry, but Michael Fassbender is one of the best actors in Hollywood, I think, today, and also Marion Cotillard, who is also great, and the director of Macbeth, which is a pretty great movie.
Macbeth is.
I thought it was good, but apparently it's just boring. It's really boring, and the action scenes are apparently terrible.
Well, I heard. I don't remember.
This is a series of saying I heard from a friend. This thing
friend
about
probably
Assa-
being you that there isn't as much Assassin's Creed in it.
Well,
but there's a lot of the. Like,
that was what I was worried about watching the trailer. Was like, because that's the worst part of the games is
yeah,
you have-
exactly. You have that like you go back to the future and.
Back to the Future. Back to the so you go like back to the
Yeah, you
the-
do actually go back to the future.
fine.
You go back to
Touche.
you go back to the future.
But when you go to the past, it's apparently awesome, and but when you go to the future, then
it's so bad. You have to walk around, do such
like a bunch of
boring stuff.
facilities.
Yeah,
and
you have to
apparently the
hack
movies.
computers.
Apparently the movie is mostly future and less past. So
Yeah, that's not good.
that's unfortunate. But
Did they base it on an actual one of the games, or is it just?
no, it's like it's a new story in the continuity of the
Okay.
world. Yeah. But moving on. Speaking of speaking of all things Tom Holland, there were 2 new Spider-Man Homecoming trailers.
I haven't watched them.
I haven't either because
You're supposed to be the
know.
movie guy.
See,
but no,
here's
B.H.L. Hudson is slacking.
Here's what I could do. I could watch these trailers, make a trailer breakdown, probably make that sweet YouTube money, which I now make. Announcement. I've started making the YouTube money, which is
That's
great.
why your subscribers are dropping. They loved that you didn't have advertising.
They love the ad free.
He's doing this for the passion. No.
Now it's all for the money. But I was like, no, because the first trailer, pretty good, great trailer. The second one, I was like, okay, now I know pretty much the entire sequence of events of the film. Like, I know what's gonna happen. Like, there are probably gonna be some surprises, but like, I know what's gonna happen, and I've seen more footage than I wanted to. And then this one, I watched the first 10 seconds. I see him like stopping a robber and saying some like kind of funny line. I'm like, I don't want to see it. I want to see this in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want every single good line and good action scene to like be laid out for me.
Moment.
Yeah, exactly. But so, excuse me.
You're not excused.
I'm gonna leave that. But what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Sony has a problem with this. Like the Amazing Spider-Man 2, they also, and the first Amazing Spider-Man, they gave away way too much in the trailer. Like, not
when was that movie? The first Amazing
2012,
Spider-Man?
and then the second one was 2014. And so like
Jesus.
This one, they not only gave away more of the plot than I'd like them to. I'm sure the movie's gonna be really good. I'm really excited for it. But these trailers, they gave away more than I want to see this in the cinema, right? Like I want these surprises to be. I want to see Tony Stark. Spoilers for the trailer if you've managed to avoid them. Skip to the next thing. But like I want to see Tony Stark saving the day with that boat falling apart in the movie. Like in the first trailer they show him holding that boat together, and you're like, oh, how's this gonna work? And then you see in the second trailer, Tony Stark saves him.
Take your suit away.
Yeah, and then he takes his suit, and it's like, and now I can.
In the beginning of the movie, does he have the suit and then it gets taken away?
Yeah, well, okay, I can pretty much, and again, spoilers for those trailers if you haven't seen them, but I can skip ahead, but I can pretty much tell you the plot of the film based on those 2 trailers. It's going to start, Spider-Man's loving his life, he gets to keep the suit from Tony Stark, it's going to show some footage of him in Civil War from, like, Spider-Man's perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, he's going to do, like, a little vlog thing or something, I don't know, sure.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Sebastian Stan.
Exactly. And so, then it's going to go, then he's going to be Spider-Manning around, then some stuff's gonna go down, then he's gonna be nervous around girls, and then he wants to be more of a hero, but then Tony Stark won't let him be a hero, and then he tries to be a hero and stop the Vulture, and then it goes wrong, and then Tony Stark takes the suit, then he puts on his old suit,
and then he stops the Vulture,
and then he fights the Vulture on a plane, and then he stops him, and then probably Tony Stark's like, yeah, you're a good kid, and then he gives him the suit back. Yeah. And that's it, and Happy Hogan's in there somewhere. Happy Hogan just pokes his head in.
Who's Happy Hogan?
John Favreau. His assistant, his bodyguard. Oh, you know John Favreau.
Oh, now I know.
Also, they released a poster that has been getting, I hate to use the phrase, but it's been getting memed quite a bit on the internet. Because it's apparently...
Oh, you don't hate that phrase.
Well, I love that phrase. It's like a really... It doesn't look great, and it's like it's really crowded, and there's a lot... Like, people were saying, like, oh, I can't wait to see Spider-Man's cameo in the new Iron Man movie. And, like, because Iron Man is very present on that poster.
Mm-hmm.
And there's, like, there's a lot of stuff going on. It's not great. But, regardless, I think the movie is going to be good. I'm very excited for the movie. Next up, the Universal Dark Universe, Monsterverse universe.
What is this?
So, okay, I'm going to pull up the picture.
The UDU.
Look up this. Yeah, this is quality content. It's not like we should have done this before the show or anything.
Oh, no. It's the Ported Blank podcast. I thought that was a picture for the mummy.
It is. That's what it is. Okay, so...
Oh!
Universal,
okay.
They own all the, like... the monsters, right? And so they want to do a... Where's the picture?
Mom!
And so they want to do, they're like, oh, Marvel, that works. So
he does not look happy about this.
To picture Tom Cruise.
Oh, God, you have to put that in the video. Please do.
Okay, fine. He looks exceptionally happy in that picture. But anyway.
She looks like she wants to be gone. He looks like, I'm with a girl.
But, so... Universal basically saw DC's making a cinematic universe, Star Wars is making a cinematic universe, Marvel's making one, or Marvel was the original. So, like, we should do that, but with monster movies. So...
I said we should do it.
Not the two of us, but Universal.
Is that... Oh,
So-
I thought that was Javier.
So, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I'm so good.
So we... Well, it's very obvious. For a second when I saw this from a distance, I thought that was John Hamm. Just because I'm a racist. But anyway, so we have... Look at this lineup. We have Russell Crowe, who's playing Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, who we established you are the biggest fan of in the last episode.
Yes.
You don't know who that is. It's basically...
Wait.
It's kind of like the Hulk. He's
Dr.
like,
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
yeah. So
Is it one person?
Yeah, well, so Dr. Jekyll is the handsome crow, and then when he gets
Mr. Hyde is John Hamm.
when he gets, look, I'll be honest, I haven't read it, but I know of it in pop culture.
Oh.
Look, at least I know who Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde are. But so, and then when he either gets angry or when it becomes night, I don't know, something like that. Dumb literature. Then
Screw you, Shakespeare.
for the record, he knows it wasn't Shakespeare who wrote Dr. Jekyll.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna look it up actually in case it is. But
if it is,
okay, fine. But then
you give me a YouTube account.
then Mr. Hyde is like a big monster. Then there's Javier Bardem as someone I can't remember.
Oh, look at Cruise veining his hard.
Tom Cruise has quite the vein arm. Then there's Tom Cruise as the guy from The Mummy. Then there is Jonathan
What's
Depp.
he doing here?
He's the Invisible Man.
Yeah. What? You
Yeah,
don't see him.
exactly. And then there's Sofia Boutella as the Mummy. And then I should probably look up who Javier Bardem is. This episode is going to be a lot of us looking up things that should have been. Again, we get away with it because we named the podcast ironically after it, but we honestly don't know. So, Javier Bardem, monster ?
Monster?
Also, then they're going to do like a Bride of Frankenstein movie. Which
With who?
They haven't cast that yet, but yeah, that could be pretty good. Okay, Javier Bardem. Wow. Thanks, Entertainment Weekly. Your article just disappeared. Oh yeah, he's Frankenstein.
Okay. I thought you said it hadn't been cast yet.
No, but
What is this,
Bride
fake
of
news?
Frankenstein has not been cast.
Okay.
So he's Frankenstein's monster. Pardon me. You know, people who correct you for saying Frankenstein instead of Frankenstein's monster are gonna end up in a ditch someday.
The spawn of the Antichrist.
So yeah, let's I don't know. Let's wait until The Mummy comes out to judge that. But so they're gonna team up. I don't know why. I mean, Sofia Boutella. I guess so. Sofia Boutella is gonna be a good guy at the end of The Mummy if she's teaming up with these people, or maybe it's just for the photo shoot. I don't know.
I think yeah.
Also, Tom Cruise, no tension for The Mummy because he definitely isn't gonna die. Although we probably knew that they weren't gonna kill the one
Tom
viable action star they have in the franchise. Because I mean, Jonathan Depp, he lost like $60 million.
Dude.
Haven't we all lost $60 million?
What? I don't know what you
Haven't we all bought an island?
He's got 2 islands.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
It's not okay. You know, I don't know what you have against Johnny. I mean, I can call him Johnny because we're cool like that.
Okay, let's move on. Terminator.
Deppy boy.
Terminator's getting a reboot with or a reboot, maybe a continuation, but it's gonna be, which I'm actually very excited for because okay, Terminator 1's great. Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, best action movie ever. Terminator 3 is meh. Terminator 4 is total garbage. Terminator Genesis is pretty much total garbage as well, but it has a few good moments. And this I'm actually excited for because. So it's going to be not directed, but produced by James Cameron. James
Cameron.
James Cameron.
James from Cameroon.
James Cameron, who did the first two, and it's going to be directed by Tim Miller, who did Deadpool.
Okay.
So that's very exciting.
Yes.
And that's pretty much all we have. Except also it was announced that Arnold Schwarzenegger will probably be back as the Terminator, which he was kind of. He was one of the best parts of the last one. So. I'm pretty on board with that. Except, I don't know. I wish they would kind of steer a little bit away from that. Like maybe, you know what? He is super iconic, but maybe there's a new line of Terminators. And if you do it well enough, if you write, a good script, then you can make that as iconic as the original, like the T-1000. So, I don't know. They mentioned this on Weekly Planet. Again.
We're not... He is. I'm not. We're not
and
ripping you off.
But I really like the idea. Is that it's all about time travel, but they always go back. They always stay in this very cramped time frame of from the 80s to like the 2020s, and like that's as far as they go. Like with time travel, send a Terminator back to like the medieval ages or like the Civil War. Okay, maybe not the dinosaurs, but like
it's a T-Rex.
But like. Or World War II, that'd be awesome. So I really like that idea. Credits to James and Mason for that one, because we have no original ideas.
I didn't know that.
Okay, fine. You come up with an original idea for a Terminator film.
Okay, listen up, kiddo. They shrink.
Okay.
They shrink instead.
Honey, I Shrunk the Terminator. Okay, hell yeah. Next, there's gonna be a Dredd TV show.
Dredd the movie.
Dredd Mega City 1, I believe.
Okay, that does not sound good.
Well, the city's called Mega City 1.
Is
the big block.
Yeah.
No, not the block. That's
it's just the
whole area, right? Yeah. And so Like I said, I watched Dredd. I would put it definitely in my top 10 superhero movies of all time.
Yeah.
It is.
I watched it a few months ago. It's amazing.
It's incredible. Like, the thing is also, it's quite short. Like, there's
it's
no
one,
wasted. It's an hour and 35.
Okay.
I think, and I might be wrong, but it's like it's
an hour 36.
it's under 2 hours, and like there's no wasted moment in Dredd. Like everything has a point, or it's awesome. You know, Carl Urban is awesome as Dredd or Judge Dredd,
and the sidekick.
The girl, sorry I don't know your name, but the girl is great. The villain, your favorite Cersei Lannister, she's great.
Mama.
The action is amazing. The visual effects, the slow-mo effect is so cool.
Oh my god, it's
It's just, and the world building is great
the beginning
too.
where he bursts in and just shoots a bunch of people who are on slow-mo and they just see it coming.
Yeah, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
It's so great. And the one-liners, this is like an example of a movie where the one-liners are done well and it's not like cringy. Like when he says, I'm not gonna do the voice.
I am the judge.
He's like, he says hot shot, and then the gun, you know, because the gun's voice activated. That is awesome. That's such a cool scene. So, I think it's gonna be connected to the Dreddiverse because Carl Urban retweeted it, who played Dredd, but he's most likely not gonna be in it. But if it's anything like that, the thing is, it's on TV, so I don't think they can do like the insane violence that was in Dredd, which is a shame because that's like, without that, it kind of really lessens the impact. But regardless, to see more Dredd stuff, because people have been wanting a Dredd 2 forever, including Carl Urban, but they can't because it made like very little money.
It didn't make a lot of money?
No, because like there was no marketing for it apparently, which is a really big shame. But so anything Dredd related, I'm excited to see. So get hyped. This one we're not going to spend a ton of time on, but there were some pictures for The Last Jedi with Vanity Fair. I believe we still have the tab open, actually.
Oh,
look at us coming prepared.
It's the planned podcast. The podcast.
Can we call it the podcast, please? Okay, speaking of podcast names, shout out to our friend Yassine.
Oh, yeah.
He wants a shout out.
Because he needs this.
He suggested that we call the podcast Two Peas in a Pod, which, look, is a creative name. I like it. But
creative, that's where it stops.
But look, I don't want my legacy to be two peas in a pod. Like, good job, Yassine. That's all we're giving you.
This not Game of Thrones, Hunger Games picture.
Okay, so yeah, some people have been saying that this looks kind of Hunger Gamesy, like some of these pictures, which I can agree with. But I think in motion it'll be more its own thing. There's some pictures of there's Luke and Rey, there's Luke and Leia, which is nice. There's the villains. There's the Finn and Poe and
who's Poe?
That's
Kung
Poe.
Fu Panda runs it.
That's Poe and new character whose name I can't remember. And there's
Is that Brienne of? That is Brienne of Tarth. What's she doing?
Yeah, she's Captain Phasma.
Is she?
She does nothing. You haven't seen episode 7?
No, I haven't seen any of them.
She's in the trailer, right?
Yeah.
And so like when people are like, oh, it's a Chrome Stormtrooper.
A Chrome Stormtrooper.
A Chrome Stormtrooper. It looks like she looks really cool. In the movie, she never shoots anyone. She never does anything. She's
not even Chrome.
No, she gets kicked into a trash compactor by Han Solo.
And dies?
No, she doesn't die. She comes back. She escapes somehow. But I'm hoping she does something cool in the new one. There's Rey with a lightsaber, but the big reveal is so Benicio del Toro's character, who I don't think they've named yet. Maybe they have. I'm sorry.
The unnamed man.
He looks pretty sleazy, as Benicio does. But I like Benicio del Toro a lot. He's in Sicario. He's the Collector in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's a good actor. And then Laura Dern, who looks also quite Hunger Gamesy here.
Very much.
I don't think they've named her either, but she's the mom from Jurassic Park, or not mom,
the aunt.
Mom. She's the girl from Jurassic Park.
So aunt.
I don't remember what she does. She's also in The Founder.
The one who runs in high heels. Oh, Jurassic Park. I thought you meant Jurassic World. Never mind.
Yeah. There's a reason this podcast isn't gonna make it past 5 episodes. But she's the mom in the original Jurassic Park.
Okay.
The woman. I don't remember if she's.
Sam Neill's hottie.
Yes, exactly. Hey everyone, this is Benedict just here for a second to say at this part of the podcast, for some reason the audio file got totally messed up for about 5 minutes. So we talk a little bit about Carrie Fisher not being in episode 9, and we started talking about the Game of Thrones trailer, season 7. So we're just gonna really smoothly transition into that. Sorry about this not very smooth transition, but I don't know, something didn't work on my computer. So let's get into the Game of Thrones season 7.
I've
seen
watched
season
one
1,
episode.
season
Okay.
1, and I really enjoyed it, and then I just didn't watch anymore.
Fell out of it.
Yeah, just because I guess I got busy with life or something.
Yeah.
But I will say, watching this trailer,
You watched it like
it
just before we started.
yeah, well, watching this, it
looks,
really made me want to start watching again. Like it,
Yeah,
it looks really cool,
It
even for someone who
ties
hasn't
everything.
watched it. So this is gonna be the last season. Maybe they're gonna do a movie
no, they're
afterwards.
gonna do another season.
Okay, but like it looks like this is
Yeah.
just like action and just like
Yeah.
every
Well, and
everything
they show
hitting
a
the
bunch
fan.
of stuff. It's like Jorah's grayscale. They also show that in it.
Oh, grayscale.
Oh, that grayscale. Yeah, that which he gets in season 4, and they show how that's progressed, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Shut up.
I really want to get back on board. Yeah, so that looks great. We're not gonna talk about this for a long time.
I am incarcerated. What are you doing, Daniel?
There was because no one cares about this. Okay, this is not comic book movie related at all. But I just wanted to touch on this briefly. There was a trailer for a movie called Logan Lucky. If you haven't seen this, you should. It's a thing to see.
Click away now.
you should watch it. It's basically a new movie from Steven Soderbergh, who did Ocean's 11, 12, 13.
Soderbergh?
Yes.
He must be fat. Soderbergh.
Yeah. No, I caught it.
So sorry.
And then what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, and Magic Mike, and it's got Channing Tatum, Adam Driver,
and
Sebastian
Daniel.
Stan, and Daniel Craig.
What's happened? He used to be such a brute, and now he's got this high ball pitching accent.
Look, I think it looks. You don't think it looks good. I think it actually looks good,
It
and
doesn't look very good.
I'm excited to see Daniel Craig try because he's just been brooding for like
Is it
10 years.
20
or is it
30? We're dealing
with science here,
people.
But
I'm about to get naked.
but so I'm excited to see him try something different. And also, say what you will about it, it's ridiculous, and like it's especially because we've seen him as James Bond for all these years. But every time he was on screen, it was entertaining. Like it was
Yeah.
captivating. So I'd be
But I don't know if it was a good or bad way.
well, yeah, I can see that maybe getting grating for 2 hours. But if he's just sprinkled into the movie intermittently, then I think we're gonna go see this. I'm gonna drag you to this.
Oh God.
Then almost done with the
You
news.
said Godzilla and Kong Adam.
Godzilla King versus King Kong got a director
Godzilla Kong.
in Adam Wingard, who's done a bunch of like horror movie kind of stuff, like The Guest and You're Next and
I'm the guest. You're next.
and Blair Witch.
Have you seen Blair Witch? I forget. No, you
Not the new
haven't.
one.
But the old one you have.
Yeah, it's
With closed eyes.
yeah, it's just the sound of people stomping through the forest. But yeah, look, I liked Godzilla. I'm gonna watch Kong Skull Island as soon as it comes out. I think it's actually out on iTunes.
Is it?
I should get on that. But and this, yeah, the only thing about this I have to say is, even though they've really sized up King Kong for the new Kong Skull Island, like he's way bigger than he usually is, I still feel like Godzilla is gonna just
one tail sweep.
destroy him. He has nuclear breath. He can have you seen Godzilla?
No.
Okay.
The one with
The new one.
No, I haven't.
Well, the coolest moment of that movie, and I'm gonna spoil it for you, but he's fighting two monsters at the end, right? Spoilers for Godzilla.
What are those big ass monsters?
They're, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll be honest here, I don't remember. But the coolest moment in that movie, because then finally they get to the end where Godzilla starts fighting them, and then he grabs the monster and he like opens up its mouth and he just breathes the nuclear fire down his throat and it just like collapses.
I've seen that scene.
It's so cool. But like the thing is, he can just do that to Kong easily, you know?
Kong will say, no.
Yeah, like it's not really a fight, but then again, like if you say like Captain America versus Iron Man, who would win? I'd probably back in 2008 I would have said like, oh yeah, Iron Man would totally win. But if you write it well,
Yeah. Like
if you don't
Iron
write
Man
it
would
terribly,
just take Captain America and fly him high into the sky and just
yeah. But if you write a story, the thing is though, Captain America and Iron Man are like heroes and characters with like minds. King Kong, Godzilla are monsters, you know? They like, I guess Godzilla has some feelings, like they clapped when he left last time because he did a good job. But and
wait,
like,
was he the good guy?
I guess in the end, it's like maybe we're the monsters or something. I don't remember the moral of that movie.
And then they all kill each other. Guess we're the monsters.
But yeah, Godzilla leaves after like fighting the monsters, and he goes in the ocean. They're like
Fighting the monsters.
and they're like, "Good job, Godzilla." So look, I'm interested to see how they pull that off.
The movie good. Good job, Godzilla.
Now that the news is out of the way, we're going to talk about.
Out of the way.
We're going to talk about the in honor of Wonder Woman coming out, 2 insanely positive reviews. Like it has a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes currently, which is
Nice.
up there with
I'm really hyped
The
for
Dark
this.
Knight and Iron Man. The only thing, it's the only superhero movie that's higher than it?
Dredd.
The Incredibles. Because Frederick can't learn how to turn off his phone,
Wait.
we're gonna take a
Quick
little.
intermission.
We're gonna take a little intermission here. Thanks, Freddy. Who's calling you? And we're back. We're back from that intermission. So because Wonder Woman's coming out, I already said that. Insane reviews, 94 above is under the Incredibles. It's under the Incredibles.
Wait, what's The Incredibles?
97?
Really?
Yeah, come on, that's pretty good.
But
But
that's animated. Count.
it doesn't count. But yeah, look, I doubt it can be like that good. But I'm seeing it tomorrow, or at least today when this goes up. But I'm very excited for it. Anyway, we thought we'd talk about the other DCEU movies that have come out, and for those who aren't really sure what that means, it's not just any DC movie. It's
It's Man of Steel, Batman v Superman,
and
Suicide Squad.
Which.
Well, let's
We'll
get
into
into it.
So let's start off with Man of Steel. Now, I don't think either of us have seen this particularly recently.
No.
I saw this once in the cinema and then another time a few years ago at home.
I only saw it in the cinema.
Yeah, it's
pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's weirdly paced. I'll say that because the first half of the movie is like, it's more. I don't want to say methodical, but like it's more like. Okay, we'll cut this. We'll cut this thinking break out.
There are some.
There's well, it's more like a thoughtful tone. Like it's more themes and like Clark Kent dealing with becoming Superman and like what do these powers mean? Am I
Am I Superman? Am I not Superman?
Kevin Costner is like you're an alien and he's like, do I have to keep pretending like I'm your son? He's like, you are my son. That's
tornado.
that's a bad scene. I was about to say that's a good scene with Kevin Costner, but the tornado scene that's dumb. But and then
Stay away, son.
then the second half, it's just balls to the walls action,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just explosion after punch, and that's considering. Have you seen the original Christopher Reeve Superman?
No.
Okay, well those movies, especially the first two, those are really good. Especially the first one. The first one's like my granddad's favorite movie, or one of, and so
Which says a lot.
and I grew up with it, and like I have good memories of it. But the thing is about those movies is because of the time they were made in, there's like no action really, and like the second one there's like a fight scene with Zod and Superman, and it's like, I mean it's like, yeah, it's campy as hell. And like
Okay.
have you seen the thing where he throws like he grabs his chest and then like he throws an S symbol at him? That's like it makes no sense and it's glorious. It's amazing.
Throws an S symbol.
Yeah, like a
Like-
cellophane S symbol that comes off. It's so weird.
Wow.
I'll show you a clip afterwards. But so like it's, yeah, okay, so I get it. You want to show now Superman actually.
What about
Doing
the Superman movie before Man of Steel?
Oh yeah, Superman. Yeah, exactly.
Was
Superman
that,
Returns.
Was that a failed one? Like.
Yeah, well, for me, it was.
yeah, it was.
Look, a lot of people like that movie. It has two great scenes. Have you seen the scene where he catches the plane?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
and the eye one.
Oh my, that's still really cool. The rest of the movie is boring. It's so boring. Look, to be fair, I watched it when I was like 12, and I was like, I'm falling asleep to this. If I watched this today, I'd probably like it a little bit more, but still, it's really dull. Like it's not exciting. And then at the end, the finale is like, it's not really like a great action scene. It's Lex Luthor, played by Kevin Spacey, who's pretty good. Lex Luthor stabs him with a kryptonite knife, then kicks the shit out of him for like 5 minutes, and then Superman lifts an island made of kryptonite and throws it into space. Yeah, no,
Wait.
Yeah, that happens.
He lifts an island of kryptonite.
Because of sheer willpower.
Shit.
Look,
If I could do that with sheer willpower, I'd be on top of the world.
like, it's, yeah. So I guess they were saying, okay, that one was so like not action packed. Let's just make the second half of this movie only action, and it gets kind of old. Like it looks cool, a lot of it, except for when he starts fighting like a squid monster. Remember that?
No.
I didn't remember that until I rewatched it. He goes to India, like the Indian Ocean at one point, and he fights this giant tentacle monster.
A squid monster.
Yeah, and it's like, this looks so bad. Like this.
Wait, What?
Yeah,
I
I know,
totally forgot
right?
this.
Yeah, exactly. And then then you go back to Metropolis, and everyone's talked about Metropolis getting destroyed, so we don't have to really get into that. But yeah, again, look, if I know it was it's his first day on the job, how can you expect him? Maybe try to take him into space, or maybe try not to fly him directly into the biggest city in America or something like that. There's times where the thing is, they're both invincible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting thrown into buildings does not hurt any of them. At the end, when he snaps his neck, neither of them really have a scratch on them. Superman can tell, right? And yet he still throws Zod into buildings, even though he knows it'll do nothing to him.
Yeah, exactly.
He pounds him through 20 floors of a building, and he's totally fine. You could just
just take him out to a farm somewhere.
Or at least try to show either Superman trying to save people or trying to get Zod out of the city. I don't want to talk about this because whenever I do, all the comments are like, Superman didn't do it. Meh. Sorry, that's insulting. Really?
That's what BHL thinks of you.
But
I, on the other hand, I appreciate your thoughts.
But every comment then is I understand people have. It's a movie, all right. Let's not argue about it. But they were like, oh, he couldn't have done it because he.
Well, can Zod fly?
Of course, Zod can fly.
Because I just see them doing these weird jumping actions. I was like, what is this?
Yeah, well, it's quite Matrixy, but some of the visual effects in that look great. Some of them do not at all. But overall, it's a little bit of an inconsistent pace. If there had been more action spread out through it, then it wouldn't. Because it starts to get exhausting by the end, which is kind of a similar problem with Batman v Superman, which we'll talk about.
Yeah.
But it's directed by Zack Snyder, who Watchmen I really like. I haven't seen 300 and I haven't seen Sucker Punch. And
Watchmen is great. I like that movie. I love that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman. There's a lot of them that look great because he's. But the thing is though, the thing with Zack Snyder as far as directing, he's very good at visuals. But the problem is, it seems like he kind of just wants to get to the next cool visual, So especially in Batman v Superman, a lot of these shots in here, they look great, but they don't flow with the story,
Yeah.
So I will say visually the movie looks very good for 90% of it, except for that squid monster. But story-wise, actually Man of Steel I'd say story-wise is better than Batman v Superman. It's pretty good. The stuff with Clark Kent learning how to deal with being on Earth and all that, from memory, it's pretty good. It's nothing super special though. What do you think of Henry Cavill's Superman? I think
he's the best Superman to date.
Okay. Keep in mind you haven't seen the Christopher Reeve ones,
okay.
because Christopher Reeve, I'd say Christopher Reeve is the best Superman because he's.
Well, I think
rest in peace because he's great. And
I think
especially for the time.
I think Henry Cavill is more. He's more Superman.
Wait, what?
He looks more like Superman.
Okay, well
he looks more. And
that's
he kind of acts more like Superman. I think.
I wouldn't agree with that, but I think for the eras that they're in, because Christopher Reeve was back in the 70s where Superman was silly and he's campy and he's just a mild-mannered reporter he's really nice and he's kind of dorky, but he saves cats from trees and he's dorky when he's Clark Kent, and then when he's Superman he's the best hero and he's nice to women and he's great and he stops the bad guy. And Christopher Reeve is great as that. He's perfect for that time.
Well,
that wouldn't work today.
I kind of base best Superman off of the Justice League cartoons, right?
Yeah. So that's my favorite version of pretty much any DC character.
Yeah.
Except for Batman, maybe. No, actually, I'd say that's my favorite version of Batman ever. But, yeah, I really like Henry Cavill. I don't think they've given him enough to do, especially in Batman v Superman, which was supposed to be a Man of Steel sequel. He has less... People bring this up a lot, and it annoys a lot of people. I'll just say it, even though...
I'll just be straight with you guys.
He has more... Spider-Man has more lines in Captain America Civil War than Superman has in Batman v Superman. Which is weird, but
Does he actually?
Yeah, but... which is strange, but people... Yeah, I think we'll get to... We're getting way too much into Batman v Superman. In this movie, I think he has the look, and I think he has the...
Wait, so we've moved on to Batman v Superman.
No, we're still in Man of Steel.
Okay.
He has most of the personality, and if he was a little more fun and a little more smiley, I think that would. But because it's this darker world, it doesn't really work.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping they kind of it doesn't have to be Marvel, but the tone that I think Justice League is having, where it's still this dark world, but yeah,
But they
it's
got
more,
Aquaman.
well, it's a little bit more lighthearted, even though it's not straight like Guardians of the Galaxy kind of thing, which is great. Then I think that's the tone they should go for.
Yeah.
And so, what do you think of him killing Zod at the end?
That's a good. Actually,
Look,
I like how it looks and everything, but when you think about it,
I enjoy the sound of his neck snapping. I enjoy
It
the spine
soothes me.
crack. But look,
like how he saves the family and
Look,
why didn't you just do
I
that
think
to begin
it's
with?
well, I think it's like I can see what they're. I don't hate it. Like a lot of people hate it. I think it's a good thing for like a lot of people are like, oh, Superman shouldn't kill. Superman never kills. First of all, Superman in Superman 2, I believe he also murders Zod in that one, just in a lot more of a campy way. But like, I think I'm not against Superman killing, especially like seeing how like completely like destroyed he was afterwards. The thing is though, that situation doesn't really work because they've been throwing each other from building to building to building, and now he has him in a headlock, and he's like, if you don't kill me, I'll kill this family. Just throw him to another building. At this point, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or just like toss him 10 feet away and get the family out of there. You don't have to. Or you know what he could do? He could put his hand over his eyes.
That is very true.
Because
Actually.
the laser
Doesn't hurt
vision,
him, right?
yeah, I don't think it hurts him. So
Go to sleep, son.
yeah, exactly. So I'm cool with him killing. I'm not cool with him killing, but like
I think it's dope when Superman snaps necks.
I think it works. Like it's fine for the movie, but I don't think that particular situation is great. The rest of the cast pretty great. Lawrence Fishburne, Michael Shannon, Zod.
I love Lawrence.
Don't we all? Amy Adams, again, I don't think she has, especially in Batman. We'll get to that.
Oh yeah.
I think she's good Lois Lane. I feel like
But
I'm
also
missing
an
someone.
annoying Lois Lane.
Well, Kevin Costner is great as his dad, and Russell is great as his other dad. Yeah, it's
the dad.
it's yeah. Look, it's a good movie. It's not something I would rewatch. It's also, say what you will about Batman v Superman and Suicide Squad, I think there's a lot more to talk about with those movies than there is with Man of Steel.
Yes, it's a very. It's not very remarkable.
Yeah, it's good, but it's not something I'd revisit. I give it like a 7.5 out of 10. Like I enjoyed it from memory, but like it's nothing incredible. It has some great stuff in it, but it's nothing spectacular or like it's nothing really amazing or like really bad, which is what I
It's very meh, borderlining good.
Yeah, I'd say it's closer to good. I think it's a good movie, but for the record, we are doing this without any notes on these movies. We're just doing it off the cuff because again, we don't do this just for the name, but it does help that we have the name. But yeah, we just have written down Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman. So we're just
And
sorry.
Logan Lucky.
Sorry if we missed some stuff out. So Man of Steel, pretty good, I'd say.
Yeah.
Now Batman v Superman, we saw this together actually on a mandate.
Ah, yeah, the mandates.
It's oh god.
I have to say, first half of it, I genuinely liked. That was good, I thought. I don't like Lex Luthor.
Okay, let's go through the cast.
Bringing people together.
Can you do your Goofy impression for a second?
Woo! Gorsh.
Okay, that's great. I couldn't tell the difference between that and the Jesse Eisenberg. Okay, let's talk about the cast. Firstly, Henry Cavill, we said Superman. Ben Affleck, do you like Ben Affleck as Batman?
I love Ben Affleck as Batman.
I really like him. Yeah, I wouldn't say I love him, but he's great.
Yeah.
He's not better than Bale, but I think he's the second best Batman.
I don't know.
I think it's the best Batman costume to date.
Yes,
That's
definitely.
awesome.
Mhm.
And I think we have the best Batman action scene ever put to film in the warehouse, where he tears through like 30 guys, even though he murders quite a few of them.
Also, that dream scene, that's also amazing. Like, despite people saying, yes, it is.
The scene is cool. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make sense, but it's a cool scene.
Again, this is another thing that people get really worked up about. This, like, first, whether Batman v Superman is good. Second, Batman killing. Third, Batman's dream sequences. And, like, the Flash coming through that portal. People hate it when I say that doesn't really work. But I don't really think it... Firstly, I don't remember what the first one was. But, like, Batman killing. People are like, oh, Zack Snyder's like, I don't really see it as him killing. I see it as him kind of...
liberating the evil.
He's like, I see it as kind of like... You know how in Batman Begins... This is not a direct quote from Zack Snyder, but this is, like, kind of what he implies. In Batman Begins, where he's on the train... You've seen Batman Begins, right?
I've not seen... Yes, I have.
Okay, good.
Long time ago.
You know how at the end he's with Ra's al Ghul on the train, and then Ra's al Ghul is like, "Oh, you're gonna kill me," and he's like, "I'm not gonna kill you,
but I'm not gonna save you."
He's like, "I don't have to save you either," and then he jumps out. Like, it's probably your fault. But so Zack Snyder's like, "Oh yeah, I see it kind of like
but
that."
It's not like that though.
It's not like that at all.
He throws a batarang and pierces a guy's throat.
Well, you can see he literally tosses a guy into a room with a grenade. Sorry, that's not by proxy. Batman murdered that guy. There's a great shot where the Batmobile comes in that chase scene, which is actually pretty good, despite where the Batmobile comes in from like a ledge, and you see it go through the skull of like a henchman. Like it crashes into the back of a truck and it just goes and it just crushes him. It's like he's so dead. And then Batman hooks a car full of like nameless henchmen who probably have children to like the back of the Batmobile, and he rolls it around like a bowling ball. Meanwhile, their insides are just like spraying everywhere in there. Their brains are all over the window. And then if you're like, oh, maybe they have their seatbelts on, maybe they're surviving. Then he tosses it like into another car and they both explode. Again, it's a thing with Zack Snyder where it looks cool. It all looks great.
But when you think about
but it doesn't
Batman
work, you know?
Yeah,
and he's saying, the thing is though, people are like, oh, well, this is a darker Batman. He's messed up. He's older. The thing is though, if you could just have a scene where like Alfred's like, hey, you didn't used to do this.
Yeah, can we go back to the good old days?
Yeah, or like not even Alfred, but just like someone. It's just Alfred is probably the most likely.
Just him talking to a mirror. So
what have we done?
So Bruce, we kind of done goofed here.
But like, if just someone say like, can you not, man? Like maybe you shouldn't murder everyone. And then he goes like, I don't know, I have to do this one last time. Then the ending maybe be like,
one last ride.
And then at the ending you're like, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Then that'd be fine. But because no one really addresses it, it sticks out like a sore thumb. The other thing, the dream sequence. Okay, the thing is, it looks cool, and it's a cool scene, but for this movie, Batman v Superman, it adds nothing. It has no consequence on anything. People say like, oh, well, it makes him distrust Superman more, because he has a dream about Superman killing him. He already distrusts Superman enough for destroying Metropolis and just being a prick in his eyes, you know, and like blowing up the Senate or whatever. Like he doesn't need a dream to really tip him off. And then people are like, oh, but it sets up the Justice League. But there are more clever ways to set up the Justice League that also have a consequence on this movie, you know? There's like at the end he talks to Wonder Woman, he's like, there's something coming. She's like, yeah, there's something coming. And at the end,
a friendship was made.
And like that, okay, that probably wouldn't have made sense if we didn't have the dream sequences. But you could take that out, right? I mean, again, it looks awesome, and like you see the Darkseid Omega symbol, and that's amazing. Because, I mean, just as someone who likes DC, that's really cool to see. But and then I think I don't know if you remember this, but I put my head in my hands when the Flash came through in the cinema because, again, nothing really to this movie. He's like, Lois Lane's the key, and then that
does he say you gotta save us, Bruce?
Yeah, and like
what is that? What does he mean by that?
Am I too soon? I'm too soon. You know, that's a direct quote.
Is it?
Yeah, I believe he says that. And then like again, it sets up Justice League, but for this movie. And then the actual Justice League setups, right, with where she clicks through the QuickTime files. I'm sorry, that is a terrible way to introduce these characters. Yeah. Not only is it really anticlimactic, like it's a bunch of security footage,
very chunky.
But yeah,
way to edit it.
Yeah, it doesn't
click some videos.
Yeah, it doesn't flow at all, and it doesn't matter at all to the story, except for that one conversation with them at the end. Again, I'd say this in my video that's coming out next week about Justice League, with Captain America Civil War, right? Black Panther, Spider-Man, they're there to set up their own movies. But they also have, especially Black Panther, like an integral part to play in the story. Yeah, exactly. The story wouldn't work without these characters. Maybe Spider-Man, but like
Black Panther,
he still adds something to it.
Yeah.
With Black Panther, yeah, he's there to get people excited for Black Panther coming February 2018, but he also has a important and very interesting part to play in the story. A video of Jason Momoa swimming underwater
and eating some fish.
It doesn't get me excited. First of all, it didn't really get me excited for Aquaman, but it does nothing for this movie. You know, we walked out of it and we were talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, they set up the Justice League because it's just like dropped in there. It could have been a behind the scenes thing on like a featurette on the Blu-ray or something,
or maybe like an end credit scene.
Yeah, it doesn't work for me. We've really gone to town on this movie. There's stuff I like in it. I'd say it's like a 6 out of 10 because and that's like a passing for me.
7.5.
Okay, but like there's stuff again. Batman's great. Alfred is Jeremy Irons as Alfred is awesome. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, pretty good. Who else is in it? And a bunch of other people.
I don't like Darkseid.
What?
No.
Doomsday.
What's the difference? What is the...
Oh, you are gonna get
What
roasted. There's a huge difference.
Okay.
But
yeah,
Doomsday. That scene is really that. I don't like that fight. The thing is, the Batman Superman fight scene, like the actual fight itself.
Yeah.
That's
pretty good.
Pretty good, but it's too short.
Martha.
That's
so
oh my God.
dumb.
Another
Maybe
thing
the
people
dumbest movie in movie history.
The
dumbest movie in movie.
The dumbest movie moment, I think you mean.
Dumbest movie moment in movie history.
That's another thing that people get really upset about. I've had people write essays about that in my comments about like, this is why it makes sense, this is why it's great, this is why it's super emotional. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no.
It's first of all,
as Beatrice Hudson saying, you people are
you
idiots.
are wrong. Let me explain why. No, I don't mean that at all. There goes my money. But like first of all, I think one of my main problems with it is, and this is something I don't really hear people bring up a lot. Superman wouldn't say, "Save Martha." He would say, "Save my mother," or "My mother is being held hostage." You know,
yeah.
If I had you pinned down and you wanted to tell me that your mother was
before I should say my mom's name.
but if you wanted me to save your mom, you wouldn't say "save" and then say your mother's name, because I'm like, who the fuck is your mother? You know, I don't know that. You'd say "save my mom," and if I stop, you'd be like, "My mom is kidnapped." You would say that at the start of the fight, but people say like, "Oh, you didn't have a chance to." He still could have. Like, there's a part where they get really up in each other's face. He could just cut him off and said, "Hey, my mom's kidnapped. Lex Luthor, we have to fight. Can you help?" But so
yeah, but then
he
on the
says,
other side, other hand, he wouldn't have stopped though, would he?
Yeah, I don't know. That's not a huge problem for me. But so he wouldn't say "save Martha," and then Batman completely losing it because his mom's name is also Martha. The idea that I think Zack Snyder is going for there is, or the writers, is that Batman has seen Superman as like this alien, and like he's not human.
Then he realizes that
he also
just
has
like
a
him.
mom, and he grew up in Kansas, but like it's not conveyed well at all. It seems like Batman is just stopping because they have the same name. It's not like you don't really have a moment where you realize, like, I at least when I was first watching in the cinema, I didn't really get that. They're like, oh, he realizes he's human now. You know, I more thought, oh, this is really dumb because
yeah.
And then he it also doesn't help that people kind of have made memes out of it, and like when he's yelling, "Why did you say that name?" You know, like Batman. We've seen Batman ruthlessly murder all these like nameless goons this whole movie, and then this one
what if
guy.
their moms were named Martha?
Exactly. And then this one guy who he's wanted to kill for 2 years now, presumably, this alien. He suddenly stops because he says this one name. It doesn't work for me at all.
No, me either.
Look, I wanted to talk about the stuff I liked here, and we instantly got back to stuff we didn't. There's some, again, the Batman stuff's really good.
CGI is pretty good.
Most of except for the Doomsday fight, I think it kind of drops there. But, oh my God, I want to talk about good things, but Lex Luthor.
Oh my God.
Look, Jesse Eisenberg, again, I don't blame Jesse Eisenberg for this, because I think he did exactly what he was told to do.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, whoever told him to do that...
I blame them.
Yeah, well... Yeah, I think they're like, okay, can you play this really eccentric? Can you do this? Can you do it like this? He was like, yeah, sure, got it. And that's, you know what? Good job, Jesse Eisenberg. You played the character they gave you. That character, I mean, there's the whole argument he isn't Lex Luthor at all, which he isn't at all. But, like, if you want to take liberties with a comic book character, that's fine. Like, that's okay, you know. Jarvis is a human in the comics, and in the movie he's in the movie he's a robot, or like an artificial intelligence. Obviously there's a bigger character, but like if you want to make him like a computer hipster, okay, fine, who plays basketball and stuff, but like the character himself, he just isn't. He's very annoying, and he's not threatening at all, you know. He's like, Granny's peach tea, it's my piss, and then and then he blows her up. That's
bam.
It's not really intimidating, you know. And also, if you want to talk about he's not Lex Luthor at all. He'd make a good Riddler. People have said that. I think Jesse Eisenberg...
Jim Carrey would beg to disagree.
I think he'd be a good Riddler, but as Lex Luthor, he does not do it for me at all.
No.
What was I going to say? Look, the action, besides the Doomsday fight, it's
really
good.
Yeah.
There are some, like... This silence is me trying to think of things I liked in this. Look, I do like a lot of things in this movie. I remember liking a lot of things. I just can't really think of them right now. Like, what did I like?
I really like the beginning where
Yes.
like
Okay.
how you see
Batman's
why Batman
perspective.
hates him. Yeah,
Yeah, that's great. That
That's
scene where he
really-
goes through Metropolis. That I really like that. I was watching that in the cinema. I was like, hell yeah, this is
good
is
job,
great.
Zack.
Even though, despite the very subtle product placement of the car he's driving, which pops up 24/7, I really enjoyed that opening. And then it kind of drops down from there. It
Kind of goes up, then a bit down, then a bit up, and then crashes and burns.
I don't think it crashes and burns.
It
but like,
crashed and burned with
It has-
Doomsday.
well, it has the same problem as Man of Steel, kind of, where the first half is more like there are a bunch of different plots going on. Oh my god, yeah, that's the thing. So he goes to the desert, Superman, and then Lex Luthor tries to set him up for killing all these people.
With a date?
And for killing all these people. And there's a whole Senate thing. And that's another problem. This movie has way too much going on, and it doesn't dedicate enough time to the different things. There are also really weird scenes that don't make any sense. Like, maybe the movie's just too smart for me, you know?
Well, most things so.
But like, there's a scene where Superman, after the Senate blows up, he just goes to a mountain and talks to Kevin Costner, maybe? But probably not, because then Kevin Costner wasn't there at all. You know, it's like scenes like that where like he goes to a mountain and then he sees Kevin Costner, and Kevin Costner's stacking some logs, and he talks about how he stopped a river once back in Kansas, and then he disappears, and
By swimming in it.
and Superman's just like, whoa.
Oh, damn.
It's a good Henry Cavill. And then he just cuts away. I'm like, what was that? You know? It
was not super.
also, Superman's death. It's
But doesn't he come back in Justice League?
he comes back in Batman v Superman.
Well, yeah,
the
but
last
does-
shot is
does-
like his. Yeah, he comes back in Justice League.
Does he play a big part or?
No, but he's been seen on set. But and like they released they released a video with him in it. So
Okay.
yeah, again, they clearly wanted to go like, okay, we want to have the Dark Knight Returns in this, which is an amazing comic, by the way. I don't think I've ever mentioned that. Everyone knows it's amazing, but I just want to say it.
Haven't read it.
It's so good. Our history teacher confiscated it from me because I was reading it in class one time. But then they were like, okay, we really want to do a lot of the Dark Knight Returns. Like, we want to have that inspiration because we want to have like the he's hit by the nuclear bomb and he fights Batman a lot. But then we also want to do the death of Superman with Doomsday. And it's like, just pick one, you know,
Yeah.
and do it well, you know, because then when you cram both of them,
half-assing both. of
yeah,
them.
and then now we can't get like a good Death of Superman movie one day because they already did it. You know, they can't kill Superman with Doomsday again. You know, because
they're both dead.
yeah, well, yeah. So
I have a question. The
Yes.
Martha thing, right?
are we going back to this?
Just a quick question.
I thought we tiptoed around that pretty decently.
Does that happen in the comics?
No,
Okay.
no, definitely not. They stopped because Batman from how does it? Oh yeah, I think Batman he takes a drug that makes it seem like his heartbeat is like 0. So he pretends to have a heart attack. As a true hero would, because he's like, you know, he's an old man. That you really need
As
to
an
read
old
that.
man would.
You really need to read that. That comic is amazing. And Superman, because he's so good, he's like, oh, I can't. Bruce, Bruce, are you okay? And then
He goes up, yo, Bruce, let's grab a cold one.
and so I'm pretty sure that's how that fight ends. That fight is amazing, by the way. Green Arrow's in it. It's so good.
Green Lantern's in it as well.
He's not from
Oh.
memory, but yeah. So look, I feel we've talked enough about Batman v Superman. Again, I don't think I highlighted what I liked enough. That warehouse action scene, that's pretty
Very
great.
nice.
That's very great. But there's a lot of stuff that doesn't work in
Yeah.
that movie. I've watched it since. I've watched the extended cut. It fixes some things, but it's still. It didn't really do anything for me. Like, I was kind of hoping. This was stupid of me to think, but I was kind of hoping like, oh, maybe this will fix a lot of like the really big problems with it. But like.
Mhm.
It's not. It just kind of
Yeah.
like it ties some stuff together. It's like, okay, that plot line with Superman being set up for killing the people, that makes slightly more sense now. But it doesn't like fix the movie breaking stuff.
That
in
doesn't
this.
fix Martha.
It doesn't. So overall, Batman v Superman, I give it like a 6.5 out of 10 maybe. I think it has some great stuff in it.
But some
But
terrible.
It has some really subpar stuff, and I just considering it's like one of the biggest superhero movies ever.
How much did it make?
800 million. That's another thing.
That's
This
not
should
very
have
good.
so much made $1 billion, like 800 million. That's great for a movie. Batman v Superman
That's terrible.
should have made $1 billion at least. It should have made $1.5 billion probably, but because this just didn't really. I'm sorry. I know there are people who love this movie, and that's totally fine. You know, well, I mean, like what you like. Why would I stop you? Unless it's Batman v Superman.
Oh, he's gonna judge you.
But generally, at least critics didn't like it, and I think a lot of people. I think there's like a small group of people who hate this with a passion. I don't know this for a fact. This is just what I kind of think, what I'm assuming. A small group of people who hate this with a passion. A small group of people who really love this, and a lot of people who are kind of like
80% is just like
yeah,
it
it had some cool stuff in it. I didn't hate it, but I also
didn't love it.
I didn't love it. Yeah, it's in fact I'm pretty far from loving it. It has a lot of stuff in there that I wish was better.
Yeah.
But now we move on to Suicide Squad.
Oh
which
yeah.
I've kind of changed my tune on a bit because.
What have you didn't like it to begin with, did you?
No, I did when we came.
So
out
now you don't like it.
Well, look. So we saw it when it came out, and I thought, you know what? Because my expectations were so low, because the reviews were so terrible. I was like, you know what? I had a fun time with that, because even though
You realize it was not a fun time.
in the editing department, it is
Terrible.
It is broken.
Yeah, but
And,
otherwise, I think the movie's good.
Well, look, when I came out of it, I think in my review I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'd probably drop that a bit now because there are a lot of problems with it. Look, I still stand by. I enjoy Will Smith as Deadshot.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah. Look, I don't love her as like a lot of people do, but she's good. El Diablo I really liked, but like Jai Courtney as Captain Boomerang actually gives a good performance, but he should not be on that team. You know, a lot of people have made this joke, but like he shouldn't.
What do you mean he shouldn't?
Well, like you have like a match.
Oh yeah.
Well, the team is so weirdly put together because you have on one hand you have like
a crazy girl.
Well, you
who
have
has a bat.
A crazy girl with a baseball bat and like
a big ass crocodile man.
You have a guy who can throw a boomerang and this guy with like insane fire powers who could destroy an entire prison yard apparently. I don't think it's a particularly good Joker, but I've seen a lot of videos like this, and this makes a really good point. If you take Heath Ledger's performance and you cut it up like they did with Jared Leto's, like not only do you take a lot of the best like methodical parts out, but you add this weird wavy filter and you like make it weird and choppy. It sucks. Like it's terrible. So I'm willing to bet Jared Leto probably put in an actually pretty good performance. They just cut the hell out of it.
90% out of it.
Yeah. And so not only is he not in the movie a lot, but a lot of stuff he's in the movie, it's not great. Like especially the I'm just gonna hurt you really, really bad scene. It's better in the trailer because they don't have this weird, like, oh, he's crazy effect over it. You know, where it's like the screen, like we get it. You don't have to add this weird thing to it.
You see the green hair.
Yeah, that tells you see the damage. You know? But like, and the first 30 minutes of the movie are basically dedicated to introducing all these characters, like 3 times over. Where like you get a scene where they talk about all the characters. And then you get like 2 clips of them. Then you get another scene where they talk about the characters. And then you get a scene where they talk about the Enchantress and how she's, you know...
And then they stab Hart a little bit.
Yeah, and then the like 2/3 of the movie is just them walking through this dark... It's a really ugly movie too, if I can just say. Like the first half is like full of... Yeah, the first half is like full of... Not first half. Yeah, first half or so. Like neon colors and all the introduction stuff. That looks pretty cool. And then the second half, it's just in this dark, grungy, unpleasant looking...
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's not pleasant to look at it. Like there's no flair to it. Especially the action is really dull. Like I don't remember any like again the scene in the trailer where Will Smith gets on top of the car and shoots like a bunch of guys. That's better in the trailer, and that is like the best action bit in the movie. But like a lot of the action is just like, okay, you hit and you hit. Like it seems kind of like they did it the day of. You know?
I like when they blow up Whiplash. No, not Whiplash. What's his face?
I enjoy the fact that maybe you just zoned out and you thought we were talking about Iron Man 2 for a second.
No.
And you just came back into the conversation now.
What's his face?
Scott Eastwood.
I don't remember. What's his name? The guy who they just blow his head off.
Slipknot. Oh, well, I mean, it could not be more obvious that he's gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally just there to get his head popped off.
In the comics, they blow his hand off, don't they?
I don't remember. I haven't read those comics.
No, like
I have better
in
things
the
to do.
comic movie or TV show.
What?
Because in Justice League, there's a segment where the Suicide Squad's in it.
Oh yeah, I don't remember that episode. I need to rewatch. I was actually planning on rewatching that fairly recently, but I remember.
But then I realized I had to watch What to Expect, what you're expecting.
Look, a man's got to do what a man's got to
Yeah.
do. But I don't remember. I remember Deadshot in that. Look, I probably like this movie more than Batman v Superman. I like it about as much as Man of Steel. Yeah, it's for different reasons.
I'd say it goes Suicide Squad, Batman v Superman, Man of Steel. There's nothing.
Okay, I
There's
mean,
nothing-
I understand where you're coming from with that. But look, for the record, if you want to hear more in-depth thoughts, I have, because this is kind of all over the place. I have reviews of Suicide Squad and Batman v Superman up, so you can
Man
go-
of Steel, he doesn't give a shit about.
I think I have a best and worst of Superman, but yeah, there are other things in Suicide Squad. El Diablo.
Costumes are great.
Yeah, look, it should not have won an Oscar for it. I think Star Trek Beyond was way better.
Do you
but,
watch
like-
Star Trek Beyond?
Yeah, I love Star Trek Beyond's great. They play the Beastie Boys song at the end and they kill all the bad. It's so cool. The movie's great, but you should really watch that. But look, the costumes are pretty good. It's been like Harley Quinn now. That look is like super prevalent in pop culture. Like you see a lot of, especially on Halloween, everyone was dressed
My
up
sister
that.
was dressed as Harley.
Yeah, and you were the Joker, which is a little weird. But
No,
we
no,
don't,
no.
we don't judge on this podcast.
I see where you're coming from.
We don't
However,
judge.
It wasn't weird.
I know
It
you're a
was
Game of
good.
Thrones fan.
Hey,
But
Catwoman fan.
write that on your gravestone.
Reason for death? Catwoman fan.
But yeah, like Batman's great in it. He's only in there for like 2 scenes, but I think that's the best Ben Affleck Batman stuff we've gotten. Cause like, well, like, cause he doesn't kill anyone, and he's like,
that's a first.
he's, you know, he has some cool. I was gonna say he's charming. He's not charming. But, like, he has some cool.
He is chiseled.
He has some great moments. But we probably should have written notes for this.
Like I know you thought it was over the top and there was too much focus on set booty, but I liked Harley Quinn.
I mean, yeah, there is both of those. But look, again, back to the editing. It was edited by people who did the trailers, which is
That
a
was
stupid
so
decision.
dumb.
Why would
Yeah.
it? Because everyone's like, oh, they love the trailers. Let's get them to edit the movie. It's a completely different task to edit a movie and edit a trailer. So like the first 20 minutes of this do feel a bit like a really long trailer. I like Ike Barinholtz in it. He's the
Who's
prison
that?
guard.
Okay, yeah.
I like him. He's good. But and the thing is, the ending, I don't really buy it. You know, where he's like, El Diablo. He's something like, I lost my family before.
I ain't gonna lose a new one.
They've spent like a day with each other, and for 23 hours of that,
They
they
hate
each other. I wouldn't say, I buy
That
him.
bar scene changed it all.
Like you wouldn't call them his family, you know. And yeah, the Enchantress is a bad villain, and the CGI in her on rewatches, especially her brother. Even in the cinema, I thought her brother guy, he looks terrible CGI wise.
Yeah,
That's like,
it's not very good.
how can you have that in a $200 billion movie? And the end fight with Enchantress, yeah, it's kind. Personally, I thought it was kind of anticlimactic.
I don't like that there's big beam in the sky and
Yeah,
then some wavy
yeah.
stuff and
And
then
like-
her. Why doesn't she do anything? Like she's just, Bruda, go do it. Hello guys,
But-
right? And then she dies. He goes, no, brother. And then
she comes back as Cara Delevingne, who's not a great actress. Sorry. Have you seen Paper Towns?
no.
She's okay in that. But anyway, I just want to know for personal interest. But look, the thing is, yeah, it's also really predictable and full of cliches, you know. And they have the extended cut, which basically changes nothing. There's one scene extra with the Joker, where he's like, "I'm crazy." That's the whole scene.
It's Owen Wilson. I'm crazy.
Yeah, but so that's. Look, I like it less and less the more I watch it.
Don't watch it anymore.
To be perfectly honest, but I think it has some fun. It's the most fun DCEU movie so far, which I think Wonder Woman will change. But it's just,
And then Justice League.
yeah, I don't know. But it's, I wouldn't call it, like when I saw it first, a guilty pleasure. But I was watching it, I was like, and I kind of still to this day, I watch and like, I know this is bad.
But it's kind of good. I
I
know it's
Well, I would say
bad,
it's
but it's
kinda-
amazing.
It's kind of entertaining, you know. Like it's not. Besides towards like the middle to the end where they're kind of walking through the city a lot and it gets a little repetitive. Well, not a little, it gets quite repetitive. But like not a lot of it is like boring, you know? Like it is like, especially because it's a lot easier to not be boring with like more fun characters than with darker characters. So it's more interesting to watch, I would say, than because like the characters are bantering off each other, and even though it doesn't always work, like some of it is entertaining, you know? It's
Yeah,
fun.
exactly.
Like I would say it's fun, but it could be a lot better than it is. I'll put it like that. So again, I feel like a lot of hardcore DCU fans are gonna hate this episode. I'm sorry. Look, they're just
Next episode will be about everything we hate about Marvel.
which is nothing.
Which
Get
is-
that Marvel cash. But yeah, look, the DCU movies apparently. So Wonder Woman is coming out. I'm seeing it tomorrow or today, depending on when this goes up, and I'm very excited for it. Because again, it's apparently amazing. Hopefully, this changes things. Because
It looks really good.
Justice League, I am excited for, although a little nervous about, because it's it's a lot of the creative team behind Batman v Superman. Not sure how that's gonna turn out. The Flash movie is.
He can't have a solo movie. I don't.
Well, it's not that. It's just the movie production is beyond
Helping.
like yeah, they've lost 50 directors at this point. They've rewritten the script like 100 times. Billy Crudup dropped out because why not?
Wait, who's Billy Crudup?
He's
again?
Dr. Manhattan. He plays his dad.
Oh yeah, true.
And like it's just like it's such a mess. Like if that movie comes out at all, I'll be surprised. Let alone if it's good.
What about the Batman movie? What's happening
That's
with that?
who knows, man. Ben Affleck's not doing it, but now it's the guy who did Planet of the Apes, which is kind of exciting. We actually, we should say.
Like Batman into an actual bat. Get Andy Serkis to do him.
But like, we should save this for an actual. We'll probably do an episode in the upcoming. Probably when Justice League comes out, we'll do an episode on the upcoming DC movies.
Mhm.
But look, Wonder Woman, I'm excited for. These three, I'd say they're all above like a passing. Like
They're all
above
above 5.
They're all above a 6 out of 10. A 6 out of 10 is like a passing grade for me, like it is in most schools. So, they're all barely. I wish
They're
they
very
were better.
borderline meh.
Yeah, they're like not exceptional. I really want to see a DCU movie that is exceptional, and I'm hoping Wonder Woman will be that. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much the show for this week.
That's it, folks.
Yeah, next week. I was thinking next week because this is a big trend on YouTube right now. By right now, I mean like 2 weeks ago. But since we're always late to the party, we could
Since
do
we're already poorly planned.
we would do an episode, not only the news, but then also, childhood trauma, like movies and TV that kind of messed us up as kids.
Okay.
We got
Mhm.
I don't know what you've got, but I've got a Justice League episode. I've got a SpongeBob episode. I've got this.
Coraline.
We'll get to that. We'll get to the nightmares that I had. But hopefully you'll tune back for that. I hope you enjoyed this episode. So far, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. The feedback has been incredible. You have no idea how,
But we all know it's because of me.
I mean, obviously. But, it's really nice. Thank you so much. I'm glad people seem to enjoy it.
We do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Very much.
I mean, we'd do this if no one would listen. But the fact that people listen and also seem to enjoy, it's really great. When I see, trust me, I read all the comments, and when I see you
But
saying,
likes none of them. And responds to even less of them.
but when I see you say, "Oh, this is great, this is amazing," I listen to the whole thing, a lot of fun, that's amazing. And even when you have feedback or constructive criticism, I like that too. That's, I mean, shut up to a limit, but no, that's great.
If you say one bad thing about this,
if you have some constructive criticism, please, I really want to hear it. I want to improve the show as much as I can. So, thank you all so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at BHL_Hudson. You can find him on Twitter
FDK_Dalt_Sniper.
He doesn't tweet a lot, but you know what? I'm going to encourage him to tweet more.
Hell yeah.
So-
I'll tweet one
One thing per episode.
one tweet a day if I get over 30 followers. Now that's up to you guys.
To make my life hell. Okay, well, I think that's about it. Thank you all for watching.
Wait. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time. Is that how it goes?
If you have any suggestions for another podcast, leave them down below in the comments. We'd really appreciate that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thank you for listening. Bye.